Friends. Good afternoon. This is Shoham Ganguly. This is my first attempt to do something meaningful, I would say, regarding my pet passion, that is reviewing the big bad world of cinema, movies, I would say. I would say cinema because cinema, I think, sounds much more pure, sounds more serious as an art form than just movies. So I just came across, just a couple of days ago, due to the recommendation of some of my friends whose opinion I respect a lot. Now they have requested me to watch four more shots, both the seasons, season one, season two. In fact, I wanted to watch it for the first season, from the first season itself, but whatever the reason, I was not able to watch it. So my friends recommended that I watch them. I watched the series four more shots for both the seasons because they felt that it was worth a watch. Again, it's their opinion. I respect them. Everybody is entitled to have their own opinion in this country. Like myself, somebody else might have also. So I just came across a couple of episodes and from both the season one and season two. Uh, Whether I liked it or disliked it, what was my take on it, the commercial aspect of it, the intellectual aspect of it, what it's trying to say, what it eventually ended up saying, what it was trying to propagate to the audience in our country, and also worldwide audience, because since it has been streamed at Amazon Prime, which is a global platform, that itself is my point of discussion, and why exactly it is not something which is being promoted. It is being promoted by the makers and the directors and the artists working in that series it to be, and why exactly it's a bit problematic. That's what the point of discussion that I want to have at this point in time. First thing first, whether four more shots is enjoyable, though I'm guilty of not watching all the episodes of both the season. I apologize for that. I was not able to make time for it because since I'm a working professional, this is not something. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just doing it for this, not for the sake of doing it, because I'm passionate about it. I just want to put my opinion on something which I feel is a very influential medium, that is cinema or a web series in today's times. So, first thing first, I apologize for not being able to watch all the episodes of both the series of both Four More Shots season 1 and season 2. First thing first, as I was trying to say, is it enjoyable? I mean, since I have watched episodes in the first season and the second season, which is now streaming at Amazon Prime, I'm able to watch two or three episodes. Is it enjoyable? Yes, it is undoubtedly. Is it entertaining? Yes, it is. Is it engaging? Most of the times, it is. The characterization, the look, the feel, the gloss, everything that the makers been able to transport us to the world which they wanted to design by their characters, yes, successfully. So now the most important aspect, I have been told by some of my friends whose opinion I respect a lot, that four more shots, I mean, even a film that released a couple of years ago, which created waves commercially and artistically, Vida the Wedding. Also, I mean, intellectually, I would say Four More Shots is a successor to Vida the Wedding. That Four More Shots, even Vida the Wedding, these kind of work epitomizes the struggle of women in a modern society. It does, I mean, according to some of my friends in the media, also, some of my friends in the media. Mm, does it really do so? Does it epitomize, does it symbolize the struggle of a woman in a patriarchal society? Probably no. It tries to do so, but I would say that it is intellectually dishonest to the extent of it portrays a very minuscule part of our society, even if I consider urban society. Both four more shots and also to some extent Video the Wedding, because I will emphasize on four more shots because Video the Wedding, much has been discussed about it. Even that film also I did not dislike, but I was not overwhelmed by the film, to be very honest. Similar to four more shots also. I would not go to the extent of saying that it is fake. No, it is not. It is likable. It might be relatable to some. Uh, did I like it? Yes. Was I overwhelmed by it? Did I love it? A big no. Now, the reason why I'm saying so is, see, you have to understand the dynamics of our society. I have no problem with the representation of women like the characters in Four More Shots. The characters played by, I mean, efficiently played by Shayani Gupta, Kriti Kulhari, even Vani J. I don't have a problem on that because I don't believe in the intellectual definition that the connoisseurs of art cinema want us to believe that every film has to intellectually provoke and stimulate and disturb the audience. No, it doesn't. Trust me, I enjoy Rishikesh Mukherjee's Golmaal much more than many of Manikal and Kumar Sahani films. But does that make Manikal and Kumar Sahani irrelevant? Not at all. Just that I enjoy it more, similar to it. Understanding the class politics of Four More Shots, you have to understand that Four More Shots is aimed exactly at a very minuscule, I would say, the cream of the urban society, the elites, the haves. Now, the haves doesn't mean that I'm talking about only the urban middle class. No, it really talks about the top rung of a society. Again, it's a political term, but I would say the urban bourgeois. Is it a taboo? Is it a strict no that the directors can't showcase the life of the urban bourgeois? Not at all. They have every right to do so. But my only problem is that a woman talking about uh, openly talking about sexuality, a woman talking openly about male organ, one night stand, woman talking about woman boobs, body parts. Again, that might be relatable to some. I would not say, I would be hypocrite to say that I did not enjoy it. But equating that with such a broad and novel concept of woman empowerment, feminism, in today's times of gender politics is problematic. Because to me, woman empowerment means, again, if I say the names of these films, my friends might again accuse me of again falling prey to the nostalgia. A very problematic word, I must say, again, problematic. But to me, woman empowerment and feminism means Aparna Sen, means Bimal Roy, means Govind Nihalini, Sham Benegal, Rishikesh Mukherjee. And even in today's times, directors like Sudhir Sarkar, Rajkumar Santoshi, they symbolize what we call the cinematic language of woman empowerment. I will not take the name of the three maestros of Indian cinema, Ray, Ghatak, and Sen, because much has been said about them. There's no point in discussing it time and again. They were, they are, they will remain. So, my only concern, my only problem with a series like Four More Shots is that a woman talking openly, uninhibitedly, with regarding sexuality, sensuality, one night stand, boobs, body parts, and occasionally, I would say, occasionally delving into some very serious topics makes for entertaining cinema, makes for engaging cinema, or I would say makes for engaging and entertaining watch also. But it is not philosophically stimulating. I'm sorry to say this. Because trust me, I mean, very recently I have had the privilege of watching a couple of South Indian movies. Now, by South Indian movies, I don't mean only the masala Telugu, Tamil, the Allu Arjuna, Chiranjeevi, Balakrishna school of films. Not at all. I have had the privilege of watching Care of Kanchadapulam, a Telugu movie, Kumbalangi Nights, and very recently I just forgetting the name. Just give me a minute. I will just check the name. It is Care of Kanchadapulam. It is Kumbalangi Nights, and also, I mean, I'm just forgetting the name. Parvati's film, Uyari, Take Off. This is what we call struggle of woman empowerment, the struggle for acceptance in a society among the people who are the who actually represent our society. Trust me, the characters played by Kriti Kulhari, Shayani Gupta, the other woman, I'm not forgetting her name, she also did a fantastic job, apart from Bani J. Definitely, that's a part of a society. But to but to portray it in the mainstream and to use it as to use it as the posters of feminism, posters of women empowerment, posters of liberation of women is blasphemous. I'm sorry to say this. That is not feminism. That is not women empowerment. That is entertaining cinema. So please promote it as entertaining piece of cinema, but please don't equate it with something very novel, something very philosophical. Because I think that Pritish Nandi and Rangita Nandi, I respect them a lot. They are thinkers of the highest order, but at least they should not cheat the audience into believing that they are watching something very novel out of it. No, it is not novel. It's a good watch. It's an entertaining watch, engaging watch. I mean, though I haven't watched the entire series and not the entire episodes of both the season, I'm sorry for that. But whatever I have seen, trust me, beyond the one or two episodes, I could predict that the same thing that is happening. Now, I'm not at all telling that I don't believe in the leftist school of filmmaking that a woman empowerment, woman struggle has to be the same, the downtrodden, no makeup look cinema, rural cinema. Not at all. Not at all. Zoya Akhtar, in her recent film Gully Boy, created a fantastic feminist character like an Alia Bhatt. Again, Alia Bhatt's character could also be problematic, but she is immensely confident in the way she is dealing her life without always breaking into characters of the stereotypical urban 0.1% representation of woman. And Zoe Akhtar did it without having the sacred halo of a woman empowerment. That's the point is. But again, would I recommend watching 4 more shots? Yes, please watch it. It's enjoyable, it's entertaining, it's engaging, it is likable. But to equate it with something as novel and as broad as a concept like woman empowerment, feminism, liberation of woman, choice for a woman, entitlement, for that, please watch movies like Care of Kancharapulam. Please watch movies like Kumbalangi Nights. Please watch movies like Uyare. And if you want to go back to the 70s and 80s, please watch the great movies like Ketan Mehta, Shyam Benegal, Govind Nihalini. They can teach today's filmmakers what exactly women empowerment and feminism stand for. And again, I'm reiterating, I don't believe in always intellectualizing cinema. No, every piece of cinema can't be a Breathless. Every piece of cinema can't be a Bergman or a Satyajit Ray or Ritik Ghatak. You can't expect that from every filmmakers. Every filmmaker is entitled to speak in his or her own cinematic language. So don't force that on filmmakers, but please don't stop questioning. Don't accept everything and anything that is being doled out, that has been dished out to us in huge platforms like this Amazon Prime and Netflix. Because trust me, the world of entertainment, I would say, is much more broad, much more wide scaled, much more large scaled than just this 4 more shots, even movies like Viredi Wedding. Because they oversimplify things. That's my biggest problem. You market it as entertaining piece of cinema, that's it. But when you market it as a bunch of women giving lectures on women empowerment and feminism, and you try to equate that with the reality of this country, which India itself is a third world country, that is problematic. That is exactly my concern. But anyways, I think I have given enough gyan for today. I don't know whether you will like this or not, because many of my friends are actually going gaga over 4 more shots. I don't have a problem on that. I just want to put forward my opinion, and please let me know what exactly you think of this video, and we shall meet later. Thank you so much. Bye bye.